Joshua's U.S. breakthrough slowly turned into an upset of the decade. Knocking down Ruiz in the third with a swift 1-2, Joshua became willing to exchange, a decision that would see him worse off. Concussed and unable to recover, Ruiz capitalized to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion.
That's right up there in the history of big upsets.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助活，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
As the tartan tornado battled through a cut and swollen right eye.
Coming through the middle, also looking like he's settling down a little bit.
A joint, resounding display of will that ultimately saw Taylor take a majority decision to become unified. Next, just 2 weeks later and 5,000 miles east, came the bantamweight final in Japan. A chance to see boxing's most prolific offensive fighter tested against a Filipino legend. Similarly, the fight caught fire early with hand speed, power, and combinations from both men.
To there, who we see the glory years of his career, and knowing that left him getting into the second half of the contest, not having to have done much. So there you go, hit a jab there, beautiful, but over the...
Inoue, riding out a trademark right hook from Donaire in the 9th, managed to then drop him in the 11th.
You get behind him, that's a lovely left to the body, lovely shot. I don't know what the ref's doing.
And where the monster finally faced the test that fans craved, he passed with flying colors.
And he's answered lots of questions, he really has, he's a great champion.
Back in March, Russian welterweight Sergei Lipinets also started his year in style, beating hometown favorite Lamont Peterson in Maryland.
And you saw the train with him said he wanted to work on his foot speed.
Another grinding back-and-forth slugfest where both fighters unloaded big shots on the inside.
And one of the things, Goose, that I went out to the gym with Van Nuys.
With Peterson getting the better of the early rounds, Lipinets started to take control from the 6th as both threw career-high punch totals.
What a shot!
We got Lamont getting shots.
Wow!
He can't take too many more lows.
Wow!
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
He is hurt.
He's hurt.
So by the 10th, it was the Russian who took control, doing enough to force the stoppage in a thrilling performance.
He goes down, and here comes the...
Appreciate this. It's a fight fan. You can't still be no better.
Staying in the welterweight division, the Staples Center saw a September collision between two of the sport's elite.
Welterweight champion of the world.
In the build-up, fans were promised a war.
I am gonna knock you out, though. You sure? I promise you that. I promise you. Come get me.
And in a frenetic encounter from start to finish, they certainly got one. Porter used his work rate and smothering style as Spence capitalized from body shots and power punching. And with the Texan scoring a knockdown in the 11th, which set alight a frantic final round, he secured a split decision victory, adding the WBC strap to his collection.
What a fight.
Whilst Poland may not host many world-level boxers, it could well have produced the craziest fight of 2019. An all-action roller coaster between Talarek and Szymanski. A night which featured not one, not two, but 10 knockdowns in only 5 rounds. With each round bringing its own twist, Talarik was down 4 times in the first 2 before regaining control to land a right hand in the 5th that would see the fight waved off, sealing his 4th straight victory. From all Polish to an all English collision, this time at Newcastle Arena. A bout between Davis Jr. and Ritson, billed as bad blood. And whilst build-ups filled with trash talk rarely live up to expectation, this was an exception. With a red-hot opening round setting the pace, both men had fluctuating success early on.
Can they keep this pace up?
And with neither letting up, the two traded relentlessly right to the final bell.
Firing shot. 50-12 combination for Saxon Davies. Both of them embrace. Boxing at its best.
Ending after 12 grueling rounds, with the hometown favorite taking a unanimous victory. Back in the summer, we saw another controversial night in California.
My command, touch him up. Back to your corner, gentlemen.
Flyweight Elwin Soto, an 8-1 underdog, pulled off the performance of his career.
And we say, oh, what a shot by Soto.
Against his hard-hitting Puerto Rican opponent, he chose to pick his shots on the back foot. And displaying power of his own, he dropped Acosto in the 3rd, spurring an all-out firefight.
A ferocious left-right combo from Elwin Soto.
However, where Soto was effective, he fell behind on work rate before turning the momentum in the 12th and final round to secure a sensational KO victory.
Acosta's son. Elwin Soto.
Usually, we reserve high-paced slugfests for the lower weight classes. However, the Barclays Center saw 2 heavyweights break CompuBox records in August.
He's not going to take a backward step right now.
Just shy of 2,200 punches thrown, with 667 landed, tells you everything you need to know.
You're making me tired of looking at these guys throwing all these punches, man.
Trading haymakers from the opening bell, Arreola showed more versatility in the early rounds, though with the baby-faced assassin landing the more thudding blows, the momentum swayed in his favor.
He's throwing some volume punches right now, so he's thinking something.
Ultimately, with all 3 scorecards favoring Kovnatsky, they didn't quite reflect both men's sacrifice to entertain the paying public.
And still undefeated, Adam Kovnatsky.
Last, but certainly not least, another fight of the year contender, and yet another huge upset.
And I don't do no faking. I think he's a good fighter. But I also think I'm gonna beat him.
In front of his rowdy hometown crowd, Hurd was dropped in the 2nd for the first time in his career, which sent the fight into overdrive. Both exchanged heavy shots on the inside, with Hurd using his size to his advantage where possible.
Oh, big right hand by Hurd, and Hurd is pouring it.
However, with Williams managing to outbox and outbrawl the super welterweight champion, the upset looked inevitable. And upon his name being announced victorious, the Philly fighter dropped to his knees on the most incredible night of his career.